To start editing, just click on an image and it will open up for you, and you'll see all of these different tools on the right hand side here in a toolbar. So the first thing I want to show you is the crop tool, and there's a little rotator down at the bottom, and that's a really great tool for rotating your image and realigning it. You can always go back by pressing the back arrow if you want to undo something. But in this tool, you want to change the settings to custom so that you can customize how close in you crop. So use the rotator tool there and use that grid to kind of align your letter. And then to crop, you're just going to pull the corners and then click done. The next thing I want to show you are some of the other modifications. Like you can change the exposure, you can change the contrast, you can change highlights. So you can definitely modify the exposure after the fact. Again, click that back arrow to undo. You can also change the contrast between light and dark areas in the image. You can modify the highlights, or how much white or dark is sort of accented or highlights. But the most important thing for this project is adjusting the color. So click on that color and then the color wheel little icon there. And what that's going to do is allow you to modify individual colors. So I want to modify the green and make some changes to it. So if you click on that first bar, it's going to help you change how warm or cool the color is. If you click on the second one, that's going to help you modify the saturation of that color. So in order for me to kind of emphasize the V, I need to really desaturate that green to make it kind of fade away into the background. And then I want to emphasize the colors of the branches that make the V. So I might de-emphasize some of the blues in the background by kind of desaturating them first. And then the color that I need to adjust to really emphasize the color of the bark of those branches is orange. So I can pump up the saturation of that and really brighten that specific color. So this is a really awesome tool to play around with, and one that you're going to want to use for all of your letters for sure. So then when you're done, you don't have to save anything. You just click that arrow in the upper left corner and it'll take you back to your album. The next thing I want to show you is in the cropping tool again, and that's just the image rotate tool. So for my S, I need to rotate the image around to get it into the right position. You might have a letter that you need to flip in order for it to look correct. So I want to show you that too. And then really get in close. Get in as close as you can. So for this image, I'm going to crop really, really close. And remember, you want to modify the settings of that crop tool from original to custom so that you can get in really close, and then click done. And then that back arrow will take you back to the album. So every single photo should be modified in some way, both the color and the cropping. And then the next step is to download these. So you're going to select one photo at a time and then go into save it. And then you want to rename it so that you can tell that this is the final version or the edited version, and you can find it later. So rename it. Just be careful that you don't mess with that JPEG file extension. So again, you click on it, click on that little icon, share to, and then save to files, and then rename it. Just being really careful that you don't mess with that .jpeg, because that's the file extension. And then you'll be ready to go for our final step.